Good evening. How's everybody doing today? Oh, trip over the kettlebell. Tonight's workout is based off of a request from one of my online clients who is following his home workout program based mostly on bodyweight, but he does have one kettlebell and he asked for a simple circuit that he can do just now and again when he's got a bit of spare time between bits of work that he has to do, just using one piece of equipment, and that's a kettlebell. Now I only have one kettlebell here, it's a 24, so that's what I'm going to use for tonight. I will go through the options if you have maybe a dumbbell or if it's just body weight, okay, and how to progress those body weight variations to get the most out of it. So, call this one a 666 circuit. You're going to do 6 offset squats per side. You're going to do 6 bent over rows per side. You're going to do 6 offset RDLs per side. Okay. We're going to do 3 rounds tonight, but you can increase that to however many rounds that you want. So, if you're using the kettlebell, we'll quickly run over the exercises. Then I'll give you the options for dumbbell or for body weight, depending on what your equipment availability is like. So, the offset squat, you're going to bring it up into the rack position. Your thumb is up on your collarbone, elbow slightly proud of your ribs, and you're just going to sit into the squat. Now, at the bottom, this kettlebell is going to want to pull you out of position. Your job is to stay square as you work through the reps. Okay? Drop it down nice under control, drop it down, change side. If you have a dumbbell, what you're going to do is you're going to take that dumbbell up into the clean position. So the back end of the dumbbell sits on the front of your shoulder, or just proud of you, or just in front of the shoulder. Keep your elbow slightly ahead of your rib cage, so you've got this vertical forearm. And then it's basically the same movement, except you're using the dumbbell now as your load. If all you have is body weight, what you can do, I don't have something handy right now, is pop your foot up. 1 second. Pop your foot up on a book or something else that gives you a couple of inches height, and then you're up onto the back toe on this side, okay? And basically it's a single leg squat. You're squatting down onto this leg. This leg's there for balance, but it's not really going to help a lot. And again, you're going to want to twist around a little bit. Your job is to stay square, and then you're going to come up out of that position. So that is your body weight option for this circuit, okay? The second exercise is a bent over row. So again, weight in one hand, feet a little bit closer than you maybe normally have if you've got weight in both hands, but over into your hinge position, and then you're going to roll the kettlebell or dumbbell back in through here. Okay, so if you're in that position there, you're pulling back towards your hip with either dumbbell or kettlebell. Okay, body weight is a lot harder to do, but the best option that I can think of without any kind of equipment or extra stuff is to get on your back. And we've done this exercise before. Elbows out about 45 degrees, head down, and you're just going to drive your elbows into the floor until you feel your torso just lift slightly off the floor. Okay, and then you're going to hold that for a count of 3, rest back into position, and repeat for your number of reps. Okay, and lastly, your offset RDL. So, feet almost touching into the RDL position. And what I like with this one is with your free hand, try and keep it level with your working side, okay? Because what's going to want to happen is as you get down into this bottom position, you're going to want to twist out, and your job is to try and resist that. So this hand, matching this for depth, gives you that kind of visual feedback to help keep you square. Okay, dumbbell obviously the same. If you're going to go with body weight, it's a single leg glute bridge. Okay, so pulling that non-working leg towards your chest and drive it up through the heel of the other foot. Okay, so like I say, 3 rounds, 6 reps on each exercise. The second set through, I'm going to use the body weight options just so you can see those as we go, and then the third round back into the loaded ones. Alright, so 6 reps on each side of each exercise. So, if you're ready, let's get cracking in. So, clean up into position. Then you want to try and keep the kettlebell close when you clean it. Thumb in by your collarbones, and 6 reps, just nice and deep. Trying to stay chest up as much as you can. when I'm doing these, I tend to have this hand up. Here, you'll see some people put it out to the side. It's entirely whatever's best for you. So we're into bent over row. So turn 45 degrees so you can see it. Over in position, that hand stays square. Go back towards your hips. I think that was 6, even 7, who knows. Point of note on the row, when you do them, you're not pulling up towards your chest, so you're not pulling up here, you're pulling back towards your hip. That means you get more of the lat, which is the target for that exercise, a bit less bicep. You know, if you're pulling up here, you have to be using this to get that close position through the elbow. You don't want that. You want to be engaging the lat and pulling the elbow back towards the ribcage. So you're aiming towards your hip. So the offset RDL, feet close together, keep that nice and square so your torso stays flat. And you're trying to make sure everything tracks in a straight line on this one. Put it down nice and quiet because Katie's asleep upstairs. What was I saying? Much like with the single leg RDL we did last night, I tend to look about 6 feet ahead of me when I do the deadlift or do the RDL. It helps me keep kind of a longer chest position, stops me curling out, but it also stops me overarching here. One of the errors here is instead of staying nice and neutral through there, you push your bum out and arch by looking up too high. So if you pick that spot kind of 6 or 8 feet ahead of you, you tend to get into a slightly better position. Okay, so that's about enough rest for that one. So I'm going to run through the body weight option for this round. Apologies to Tim Ferriss for standing all over his book, but needs must. So with this one, you're working mostly on one leg this time. Alright, this other leg is there just as a support and no more. Okay, so if you're up on that back toe, or the big toe of the back foot, you can't press into it too much because it hurts like an asshole. So what you want to do is try and keep most of the weight on this leg here and just use the range of movement that you have available to you in order to get the best out of the movement. Okay, as you get stronger with it, you'll be able to get deeper into the movement and use a bigger range of movement, which is a way to progress that bodyweight stuff. So 6 reps, driving in to the supporting foot, so much for a good balance. Just hop onto that toe, into the squat. Incidentally, it's a pretty good book if you want to check it out. Lots of useful stuff in it. So, your upper body movement. So with this one, pressing your elbows into the floor hard just to try and get a little bit of clearance off the floor. You're not going to come up far, simply because of the way everything's built. If you want to get a little bit bigger range of movement, you can use a couple of books just to pull yourself up onto, and that will just give you slightly bigger range of movement. But if you do this right, elbows at 45 degrees, shoulders down away from your ears, you're going to get quite a big hit through your back. Legs out straight or legs bent is entirely your choice. Dig in, we're going to go up for a count of 3, back down, get breath, 6 reps. So drive in, hold. Good. And with this one, you're trying not to arch to your low back, so your ribs should stay down. You don't want it to be kind of lifting your ribs all up and arching through your low back. So tight abs, tight glutes. Dig your elbows in, hold for 3, back up. Now maybe coming up about maybe 1.5 inches off the floor. Last one. Good. So with that one, you don't get a big range of movement, but that isometric hold is going to give you a bit of work done through your lat, through the kind of lower traps, rhomboids, stuff that pulls your shoulder blades in towards each other. So it's a good option if you don't have any equipment at all. If you have a band, obviously like a seated row or a one-arm row is a good option. And obviously if you've got a kettlebell dumbbell, the bentover row is the option that you go for. So for our hinge movement, we're going to go into the, let me scoot back so you can see, single leg bridge, pulling your non-working leg in towards you and driving into the heel of the working leg. So 6 reps, keep your abs tight, don't arch through your low back. And that annoying noise is the zip on my back pocket. So, pull in. And there's your 6. So, like I say, with this one, we're only going to do 3 rounds tonight. Mostly just because of time. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but remember, these videos go up onto my YouTube, they also go onto my Facebook page, so if you want to repeat them, I don't know if you've got an option to save them for future viewing, I don't know. But if you want a note of these things, you can check out those other sources, or message me and I'll send you a copy of the video or a sheet with the exercises on it. Right, let's get into the last round. So with the clean, we'll start with a little mini swing and then you pull more vertically than out. Okay, so you don't want the kettlebell to come out and over. You want to kind of wrap around your forearm. So you want to keep it kind of close. So it just drops into that position there. So it sits kind of in this gap between your forearm and your upper arm. Thumb is in the arm, the hook corner of the kettlebell, and the thumb sits on towards the collarbone. Okay, elbow slightly proud of the ribs. Resist the twist of the kettlebell. Control, bang. Like I say, I keep this hand up on the off side, but you will see some people put their hand out for balance, and that's absolutely fine. Whatever feels right for you. So, into our bent over rows, pulling back towards the hip. With a row as well, I like to get this kind of a little bit of a reach going to pull the shoulder blade around. So as you row, you're targeting some mid back as well. Just get that shoulder blade to pull back into position. If the weight that you have isn't heavy enough to challenge you for 6 reps, then you have to kind of decide how many reps you can do, and that might vary across the number of sets that you do. So you might start with, say, I don't know, 15 reps per side on a lighter weight, and as you go further through the rounds, that 15, you start to hit technical failure before you hit that number, so you drop it maybe down to 12, then you drop it down to 10 for a couple of rounds, maybe down to 8 for the final round. But so yeah, there are a number of ways you can progress these kind of workouts. Okay, get a bit of a sweat on tonight for a change. What was I saying? Yeah, with a lot of these, I'm going off of a best guess. okay, what might be right for most people. However, if you're using body weight, if you only have lighter weights available, you might not feel that the rounds are challenging enough. Your job then is to increase the number of reps or find a slightly harder variation. So for body weight, it might be doing 1.5 reps. Okay, so for a push-up, for example, in fact, I'll show you for a squat. You might drop into a squat, come halfway back up, drop back down, and come back up. There's 1 rep. And what you've done is you've increased the amount of time under tension to make the exercise a bit more challenging. Use this as a seat, might as well. So yeah, make sure you progress the exercises according to your ability, all right? What I'm trying to give you here is some templates for workouts that you can then take, progress, make your own using whatever pieces of equipment you have available and whatever your ability level demands that you do, okay? So if you have any questions on that stuff, I'm actually putting together a blog post on how you can progress a lot of these exercises that should be out start of next week. But if in the meantime you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'll be happy to help out. And with that, I'll say good night. Have a great evening, stay healthy. I'll see you next time.